Hello traders, welcome back to another session. I hope I hope you're doing well. It's such a pleasant to be alive today. I'm speaking to my VIP members. For some reason, has been is being broadcasted live on YouTube. Okay, it's being broadcasted live on YouTube. I don't know why, but it seems that there has been some, things going on at the back end that I'm not sure. So we are live on YouTube. So if you want to head over to YouTube and let's do our live session from YouTube, okay? And we will not continue with our dates, okay, this morning or this afternoon. We will continue tomorrow because we'll be doing another session in the afternoon, and that will also be on YouTube. So we will not be doing our dates today. We'll continue tomorrow. We've got, I think, about 6 more to go, something like that. So if you just go over to YouTube so we can even interact, so you can send me your questions and everything over there. All right, so head over to YouTube and then we crack on. All right, so I hope you guys are now on YouTube. Okay, so we're gonna start with the dollar as usual. And so those of you, actually, let me share the link on the free forum so that we get our free members to join us for today. Okay, so I have invited our friends from the free forum. So let's see. All right, let's start. Okay, so yesterday, if you guys remember, I'm keeping an eye on the results of the election. So that's what I've got up here. I was watching it throughout the night. I literally, I felt asleep. I went to bed around like 5 a.m. this morning because I wanted to see what the result is going to be. So I've been up all night and I've been watching the dollar and the majors, because that's the ones that are literally moving much. Okay, so I've been watching them overnight, and it's been amazing how price action, or quote unquote how the way we trade, okay, still responds to price, and even in this crazy movements. Okay, even in this crazy movement, we still see a lot of positive things. So I'm gonna share some of the things that I'm seeing, and you can judge for yourself whether you want to learn smart money trading, or you want to keep learning the way you already know how to trade. Okay, so let's start with the dollar and go through what I mentioned yesterday of what we were expecting. Let me change this to this one. I didn't want to destroy my analysis, but it's okay. I'll redo them again. So yesterday I gave you guys to look at this line. Okay, so I'm talking to my group. Okay, I gave you guys to look at this because from what we were seeing, the drop from yesterday was what? Manipulation. It's just price coming down for retracement. So there's a high probability that they're going to send dollar up. And where is it going to occur? And I said it's going to occur here. Yeah, it's going to occur in here. And they did come down and then gave a rejection at the 618. And that's coming from what? Previous week's range. And I've already talked about this a lot. Okay, previous week's range, and then price retraces back down, so we don't see this as a reversal or price going down. We see it as just a retracement, and price is going to continue going up. So if that's the case, then all foreign currencies, so your euro, your pound, and everything should by default fall. Okay, so as price was trading down, I think it was around, yeah, almost, I think 5 o'clock, that's when we got price to reject, and it started doing what it would do because of the election. But I want you to see how it has responded, even though we had this crazy election going on, how it has responded well to that level and the overall price trend. Okay, that is price action, and that is quote unquote smart money trading. So if you look at where price came, I've been preaching about this level for so many times. Okay, I'm gonna go on to euro pound, and then you see what we discussed yesterday about that 70.5 level, which is the yellow level. Okay, notice how they didn't close below there. Yeah, they went to the 79, but ultimately rejected. Let's go on to euro pound, and then you understand what I mean. Okay, so this is euro pound, and then I want you to look at the level I talked about yesterday regarding these two levels. Okay, I said that if we are to go up, price could come down here and do what? And take out the stops below this very down candle. It's gonna come down there and take out the stops, and then once it does that, it needs to reject and go higher, because if it doesn't and it closes down, what does that mean? Price is gonna come back up, take out some stops, and then continue going lower, right? That's what happened. So price came down, took out the stops below here, okay, and then quickly rejected and went higher. This is what you look for in your when you're trading on the high time frame. If you cannot find this area, which is by locating the areas of accumulation as price is going up, if you can't find it, always use the fib and look at the 70.5 level. Yeah, that 70.5 level. In that, between the 70.5 and the 79, that is where you're looking for price to reject and start going higher. Okay, that's where you're looking for price to reject and start going higher. So if you drop back down to the, if you go back to the dollar, yeah, if you go back to the dollar, it's the same thing. Notice how price found support, and between the 70 and the 79, price rejected and then went higher. Let's go on to euro and go on to the 4-hour. I'm sorry, not euro, the British pound. If you go on to the 4-hour, notice how price couldn't close above the 70.5. Okay, it's allowed, it can go up, but it's not allowed to close there, because if it does, then that's an indication price wants to go higher. Okay, there was another one on, I think this one. Not this one, it was dollar Swiss. Yeah, so on dollar Swiss we had previous week's range. Okay, previous week's range from Monday to Friday, and then this week's range between the high and the low. Notice where price came for the 70.5, but the down candle at the 70.5, the stops below that, that's what price came for and then quickly rejected. Okay, so go back and watch that lesson I gave about using the reason why I got Marco to give me these weekly dividers. This is the reason why. So go back and watch that lesson, okay, and then start using it, because you will be surprised how much how good using this is. Okay, let me give you another example right in here. between previous week, so this is Monday to what, Friday, and then the following week price is retracing. Watch where price will stop. Right here. Okay. Between the 70, 79 and then the 618, price stops dead there and then carry on going down. Right? If you use this, it's not going to form every day, but if you see it forming, okay, you will see it. I don't have to show you, you will see it forming, because once we go up for 1 week, yeah, my mentor shared this, but you need to study it. You need to study it. Yeah, ICT shared this freely on YouTube. Okay. He shared it freely on YouTube, but you need to study it and understand it. And from what I studied, that's the understanding I got from it. He shared it on one of the video series that he did. He said if he could go back and advise his younger self, if you go on his platform, you will find that video, and I think it's the part 2 or part, it's 4. It's a 4 series. It's a part 4. I mean, it's from part 1 to part 4, but this specific thing that he shared, okay, is on part 2 or part 3. If you watch it, it requires you to be familiar with the things that he teaches, then you can apply it. So because I'm so as I'm soaked with his stuff, it makes sense to me and how to apply it, because when you drop to the higher time frame, it does make sense where price was dropping to. Okay, because on the daily we do have a low and a high, and then it's coming down to where this down candle, right, it's coming to that down candle, and it's gonna do what? Reject and go higher. But by applying the weekly, it also gives you an area to anticipate that buy, which is here. Yeah, it gives you an area to anticipate that buy. So once you have this weekly range done, then you can go into the daily and find out, okay, so what is down here that price is coming down for, and you could tell where price is coming for. And the same thing applies to the dollar index, and you pull the fib, it's gonna bring you to here, but ultimately what is there that can lead price to reject and go higher? The down candle. Okay, so if you go back to the Swiss and we go back here when I shared the previous week range, so what is up here that could cause price to go lower is this up candle. Okay, but by applying the weekly ranges, you can mark out where the high of that week, that specific week, this week, as price is trading up, you can mark out where the high of the week is going to form. So then you apply other concepts in here, like the breaker. You have this down candle prior to this move up, we break down, so you can anticipate that the high of the week should form somewhere in here, and then we should continue going down. We could have gone down the same week, but they held price, and then the following week price went down. Okay, so let's go back to what we have right now and talk about future prices. So because we came down for retracement, it's obvious where price wants to go. Okay, price wants to come up here. That's how you should view price in terms of direction. So your target now should be above this high. Let's get rid of this one and that one. So as prices, the way price is now, you're looking for price to come and take out this high, because we went for retracement. So this is what price is doing. So you expect something like this, and a continuation to the upside. Okay, so for now, I know it's price is moving crazy, but you're still looking for a run above that high. So as we stand right now, we've just dipped into this down candle here, and price is rejecting. So that's a good, or that was a good entry, re-entry to continue going higher. So your stop goes below this down candle, and then you look for that as your first objective. We do have equal high in here and a little gap up there, so that could be your second target up there. Okay, so that's still dollar Swiss. Dollar CAD, I've reserved this for a reason, because yesterday I did say, if you guys remember, that there's a likelihood that price is gonna reject and go higher. Where was I looking for it? Let's go back to the daily, and I said we do have what? We do have a low and a lower low, and then we went higher. Okay, so there is a 70% chance that price is not gonna take out this low yet. Where is it gonna bounce up from? This down candle. So we are looking for the open. So if I just hide this for now, okay, and delete that, delete all of these because it's not necessary. So where is it gonna form? So we are looking at this specific down candle. These are the levels we are watching, okay? But because you are not gonna go below this for now, because I don't believe that that will happen. It's just not how price behaves, okay? Because you're not gonna do that for now, you can go long here and place your stop loss there, and then look for that equal high back up here. So that's what you see me have on earlier, and that's what I shared with you guys yesterday. So all this night I'm just looking at price and I'm thinking, wow, even in this condition, price is still respecting these concepts. It's amazing when you see it. It's amazing that price is still, behaving as it's supposed to behave. I'm shocked that it's doing that, because usually this should cause price to do absolutely crazy things, but it's not. Yeah, and I'm surprised. So that's what you see me have earlier on here. Okay, that's what I had on earlier. So the reason why price didn't break it is because of what I shared. Okay, we have, let's move this one away. So we have this stop run or stop hunt. I had an interview with Trading Nuts, and he said he's never heard about stop run. He's heard about stop hunt. I'm like, okay, well, that's how I call my stop hunt. They stop you and then they run away, so I call it stop run. Right, so the fact that price came below this low here and rejected means that they've already taken the liquidity down here. So it's not necessary for price to come back down here yet. In the first attempt, it's not going to do that. Okay, because the reason why it's not going to do that is The reason why it's not going to do that is because imagine that you had lots of money and you bought here. Okay, the fact that you bought down there means that you had an intention. Yeah, your intention was to buy. So if price comes back down here, someone will also, not, it might not be you, but because you bought here, they are not stupid that okay, you stop out someone here. So chances are when price gets back down here in this area, chances are someone is gonna step in again because someone did buy. If you don't understand the concept of stop hunt, okay, this specific pattern, yeah, a low being run and rejected and going higher, maybe you need to study that because that's what price is doing all the time. Your best trades are going to happen after these stop hunts. Okay, go through your chart and then you see them. Your best trade is going to happen after after a stop hunt or a stop run. Okay, on your daily chart, that's the best time to be a trader. So notice here again, price did run some stops here. It came back down. It didn't go below. Why? Because someone, or I don't know who, but I tell myself stories about what I'm seeing here. So I tell myself that someone bought here, and when price is coming down, either that same person is gonna buy there, or some other entity will think that okay, price didn't go down here, so therefore whoever bought might be still hanging around and they're gonna buy again. So everybody's gonna jump in and buy. So in the first attempt, when it comes back down, you want to be buying. Okay, in the first attempt you want to be buying. Same thing. So we have another stop hunt or stop run here. Your best time to be a trader is right there. It comes back and it drops down. So that's why that's why I had the buy in here to continue going higher. Dropping down to the 4-hour. I also gave you guys that if we break any lower time frame short-term high, okay, you can look for a buy. So you can decide to buy where we are on this level and place your stop here, or wait for a short-term high to be broken. So we had this short-term high run down, broken here, and then once it's broken, you can be a buyer and continue going higher. Okay, so I think we might get continuation to the upside because they have engulfed previous week's down candle. So I'm looking for price to come up here basically. Okay, so anything that could get you into a trade, you can use that to look for a continuation to the upside. I mean, this night I've been up all night and I've been killing I've been using breakers basically for all my trades. I didn't trade the British pound, but let's talk about the euro. Let's talk about the euro, and then go back and watch what I said on Monday on this specific pair. Okay, so Monday I said that you can place a sell limit in here. You can place a sell limit in here, and then you can place a sell limit in there. Okay, and then place your stop loss above here. Okay, and then look for price to, when they are doing the election, they might spike it into one of these and then reject and go lower. So if they do that, then you don't have to manually go in and say, okay, let me sell at market here, let me sell at market there. Just put your sell limit in there and then let price come there for you. And yesterday you saw me posting the image I took, because I took an image of what I shared, and then it's basically to see how wonderful price is trading. Yeah, so going forward, I think euro is gonna drop again. It's gonna come down here on the daily. We might see euro drop down here. Not high, to be specific. That's where I'm expecting euro to drop to. So I'll be watching this level, these two levels. That's where I'm expecting euro to drop to. Okay, so if the election if whoever wins, I don't care who wins, whatever happens, I'll be looking for a continuation to the downside. Actually, should be price did retrace to this up candle, and that on its own is a trade, yeah, to continue going down. So from that down candle, sorry, from that up candle as an entry to continue going down. Okay, and your stop loss goes above where they've already stopped people out. They've stopped anyone that was short. Anyone that was short here, they are all gone. Okay, so we look for a continuation to the downside. A British pound, I didn't trade this one because the price action on this is not clean. Okay, price action on this is not clean, so I didn't trade this, but I still look for a continuation to the downside. It's just that price action is not clean, but I'm still looking for price to continue going to the downside. We had this equal low being tagged. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago, and then we saw a rejection, and then price went up. I don't know where it went. I think it was the last up candle on the daily. It's just not clean to me, so I didn't do anything on this, and neither should you. Okay, leave this one alone. It's not clean. Once you start having clean price action, then you can go in. Even though I can see our trend line brothers around that got punished. So this is our trend line brothers. Okay, and I like seeing them around because they give me a clue of what price might do, which is if we have a trend line and I have a high time frame level and we've hit a high time frame level. I love that. Okay, let's remove all this drawing and then show you what I mean. So this is a trend line, and then we had a high time frame level in here. Let's go into the weekly and I'll show you which high time frame level. So the high time frame level was price coming back to this candle's low. Right, this candle's low, that's the high time frame level. And we had our trend line brothers around, so we had them being punished right here. Okay, that is the only that's the only confidence I had to come and take out this equal low here. Okay, so the trade idea was, I shared this with everyone, I think on YouTube as well. From here, from this breaker, from that breaker to come and take out these lows, and then we had another trade here there to come same way. Okay, so looking at price this morning, I could taking out this as a breaker entry with my stop above here, and that's essentially what I did on the New Zealand and the Aussie. We're gonna go on those ones in a second. So if you're looking to get a trade on this, I think maybe price dropping back inside here with a stop above that, and then a continuation to the downside to properly run this, because this was just a shallow run. Okay, it was just about 3 or less than 10 pips, so they should come back down and run it properly. We also have some lows in here, and then that gap on the daily. We have a gap here, a low mini gap. That's where I'm expecting price to drop to, right here in between these highs, this high and low. So you could look for a sell to continue going lower on this. I personally, I don't like this pair. It's just not clean, right? So that's what I see on this pair. New Zealand, this is the best one. Let's go into the daily, see why it's the best one. So I've been watching this since we broke down. It didn't get there, which is okay. It's not big deal, but we had a high. Remember what I just said earlier on the euro pound, sorry, on the dollar and the and the dollar CAD. What I said earlier, we had a high, so that's a stop run. Okay, so when price comes back, it's not gonna go there, it's not gonna go up here. So this area becomes very sensitive. That up candle becomes very sensitive. So notice how price even didn't get there and then rejected. So on the lower time frame, it gave this right here. Okay, after we ran stops, after we ran this high, price broke down. This is the easiest way to trade. The hardest way is trying to sell up here. If you study harder, you can get there by selling up here, but to me it's not necessary. Okay, because this is just probably to show off that you're a very good trader. But if you want to consistently make money in trading, then do this. Look for this to happen and then sell here. All right, so that's exactly what I did early hours this morning around 2 a.m. so I went short and my stop was above here, and I'm looking for a continuation to the downside. Actually I'm looking for this and price to drop in here. So that's where I'm targeting on Euro New Zealand. So a sell up there, and I'm targeting there. It might continue to go lower for these equal lows, okay, but this is where I'm targeting, and then I'll leave something on for that. So you could leave something on to target that one as well, right? I'll get to your euro pound. Same thing I did on Aussie dollar. So let's go into the daily and I'll give you the narrative again. So we had what? A high, right here. So they've already killed sellers on the upside and then went the opposite direction. So when price is coming back up, it's not gonna break this high. Okay, so this area becomes sensitive. That specific up candle, it becomes sensitive. So you're looking, you can't look to sell, you can literally just sell this up candle here. You can sell that up candle there with a stop above it, but that's a big stop. So in future I'm gonna do that. In future I'm gonna do that, but not now. So I look for price to get there and reject and show me that they want to go down, and then they did right here. Okay, like I said, if you want to make consistent gains, this is how you do it. You look for the fake out, wait for it to show you the direction they want to go, and then you go in. So I literally sold this one here. That's where I got an entry. Right there with a stop above that high, and I've already collapsed my first target, but I'm looking for price to run this into this low gap, and then I'm gonna hold something on for down here. So I'm still looking for price to come back down, and I'll be holding for this target. Okay, so I'm gonna extend this to the downside. And for our members, this shouldn't surprise you. Okay, for our members, this shouldn't surprise you. Why? Because what is today's date? 4th. It's the 4th of November. And what were we expecting on the 4th? We were expecting this thing to drop. So between the 4th and then the 14th, between the 4th and the 14th, right here, we're expecting this pair to continue going lower. Okay, so I'm not surprised at all to see what is happening right now. Okay, so we have a breaker. Look at what I shared with you guys yesterday and some of the dates that we did go through, and how I showed you I would trade them. Yeah, how I would trade those dates, and then we went through the examples. Yeah, go through them and see if this is not a trade. Okay, where we had price run up, it breaks down, and then we sell short. Okay, within time period, right? So I'm looking, it could drop further, but you know, I like this equal lows in here as well. I like this one. It's clean. Okay, and look at this area. They could drop it in there. Let's go on the daily, because there could be something in here that they might drop it into. This low gap, they can drop it in there. Right, so these levels could be your downside objectives. Okay, this equal lows, and then that little gap there, that could be your downside objectives on Aussie. Okay, so let's extend this to the downside within this time period. So from today all the way to the 14th, you could look for any bearish signals to take you down. Okay, I've already talked about dollar CAD, so and I've talked about this. Let's jump on to euro pound. So euro pound, you're asking short, weak euro, strong GBP. Actually, it's the opposite. It's the opposite, because if you look on the weekly time frame, what I discussed so far, if you've listened to it, you will understand. Here they did what? Stop people out and then rejected. So this area is going to be what? The down candle. It's not the prettiest down candle in the world, but it is the candle I used. So I'll say this down candle will be sensitive. Okay, I don't like this. This is a doji. I don't like it. So I'll say this down candle will be sensitive. So because you've already stopped people out here and went up, whoever did this, they will have some orders down here. Therefore, when price gets there, there's a high probability that price is going to reject and go high again. It might not continue going all the way up to there, which is what I would like to see. Okay, I would like to see it reject and go all the way back up here, which is basically how price should behave on this time frame. Because if this was a 5 minutes or if this was an hourly chart, that's how it will behave. All right, if this was an hourly chart, let me show you an hourly chart. Let's look for a stop hand. Stop hand. Yeah, let's use this. Let's use this. Okay, so let's say price did stop people out here. Actually, that's not the best example, is it? Let me find the best example. Let's go on to this one. Okay, there's a good example in here. That's our next pair anyway. I have let's go on to this one. I don't want to get rid of my analysis on that one. We can see we already have a trade running on this, but let's drop down to the hourly. Okay, so inside, hide this thing. Let's get rid of this area of accumulation and let's zoom in here. What I'm trying to explain is why on this time frame I would expect price to come up here. All right, so on this time frame, why would I expect price to come back up here? That's what I'm trying to explain. All right, so give me a few minutes and you will understand. So if you look here, right, price did run what? Some stops right here. And let me leave this line here because it's the same thing. So price did run some stops and then run higher. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that we have a lower low. So if price is coming back down, it's going to do what? It's going to find support here. Okay, so imagine what you're seeing on the euro pound. Okay, what you're seeing on the euro pound, imagine same thing here, but the euro pound is a weekly time frame. This is a 1 hour chart, but it's the same thing. It's just this is 1 hour, that one is weekly. Okay, so imagine that this is what we have on the euro pound, and then price came down here. Where would I expect price to go next? The reason why I'm expecting price to go to that high on the weekly, this is how price behaves. Okay, this is how price behaves. So the fact that they did run some stops here and then rejected and run higher, and we came back down to the down candle, price is gonna continue going higher for this one. So if we go back to euro pound, from where we are, because we did run stops and run higher, where would you expect price to go to from the example I've given here? Okay, it's natural to say that price should come up here, but because this is a weekly time frame, it's gonna take a lot of time, maybe a month or 2 months, because that was September and now we are in November, so it took September, October, almost 3 months to send price down here. So no, buy side, the buy side, the sell side is here. The sell side has already been taken, so it's gonna go for the buy side. You've turned it around. Okay, this is the buy side and that's the sell side. So next it should target up there, but it's gonna take some time to get up there. So in the lower time frame, if we close above this short-term high, right, if we close above this short-term high, I'll start targeting some of these highs, because it's just all the lows has been cleaned out. And we also have, I can see a bit of our trend line brothers hanging around. They might be looking to sell short. Okay, they might look to sell short up in here, and I would like to get them punished for that. Okay, so trendline brothers might hug this this trend line. It looks perfect. One touch here, another touch there, so they might punish them on this pair. Okay, so I'll be looking for a break above this high and then a run higher. If it doesn't break and it drops back below here, then I think price will drop down a bit further, but not take out this low. I don't see them taking out this low yet. Okay, this low is going to stay there for some time. All right, let's jump on to, so if we break a short-term high, then you can start looking for buys. So let's do this. Look for this up candle. Look for that up candle to be for price to close above it, and then once it does it, if it retraces back again, that is your entry to go long. Also in New Zealand, so you can see we already have a trade idea going on. We've been in this trade for a while. Our trade started from here, and we got an early entry. Sorry, right there, right here. That was our entry, and you had to sit through all of this. We sat through it for a week now, and then prices all the way up. Our first target is almost there. Our first target is here. I've actually hidden it. Right. So our first target is there. We almost got there yesterday, and then price rejected. So we're still looking for higher prices. Ultimately, I think it's gonna go down. And this is also another example of what I'm sharing with you guys. Right, this is also an example, because we did have price on the weekly time frame. It did run these stops here and that one, so we had 2 stops run, and price ran higher. Okay, like I said, this is your best time to be a trader, when they have run stops. So if you cannot buy here, then wait for them to break above a short-term high, and that is your trade. Okay, so once they've run the stops, just be patient and let them break a short-term high. Okay, and then you trade. Another thing you can do is, once they've run the stops, if you really understand what you're doing, okay, then after they've traded above a down candle, then you can go long. But that takes a lot of confidence to do that. But the more you see it, the more you get the confidence to do it. So after they've run stops, let's go back to this one, and I'll show you right here. So after they've run the stops and then they reject, once they trade above a down candle, you can go long. Okay, but you have to do it on a demo account for at least 2 to 3 months. Okay, just look for a stop run and then look to buy or sell. So if it's a stop run on the upside, after we've traded below an up candle, then you go short. And then if they run stops on the downside after they've gone above a down candle, then you buy to go long. Okay, so same thing we had in here, and then price came to the sensitive area, which is this down candle right here. So that's where we are looking for the buy, and we got the buy. So I'm looking for price to go to our first target is this down candle. That's what you see there on the weekly. This down candle is the first target, and in the lower time frame we also have these daily levels. So that's the down candle on the weekly, and then the lower time frame daily levels here. So if you want to get a trade in this one, I think it might continue to pop up. We started the day and we dropped down. This is the best time to be in the trade anyway. As you can see, it's going to a different chart. Let's use this and clean everything and go here. Have this trade everywhere. Probably get an entry, remove drawing, and voila. Okay, so when you have a price direction, every day when the market opens, we want to see it drop first. So we open here, and then price dropped first and then rallied. We open here, okay, and then price dropped first. So I'm expecting price to do what? To rally to our next upside objective. Okay, so you could get an entry and then target our upside objectives, which are these ones. What news? I don't look at news, to be honest. I'm only looking at I don't really look at news. I for some reason I just don't. I look at them to be aware that there is going to be a news. Okay, so I'll make sure that I'm aware. Like for example, the election. I'll make sure that I'm aware that there is election. So it's just going to help me with my trade direction, right? It's just going to help me with my trade direction. So if I have, let's say, for example, the dollar CAD trade, I want to be aware of the presidential election. So it's gonna give me what liquidity injection. It's gonna give me quick move. So I'll just make sure I'm aware that there will be a move on this pair. Okay, and that's about it. So I make sure I'm aware that, okay, like last night we did have some news on New Zealand. Let's go here, calendar. Yesterday, so yesterday I made sure I'm aware that we had unemployment news for NZD at 9:45, and that's it, because I know that once that news comes in, there's going to be movement. Okay, so I want to use that movement for whatever I want to do on that particular pair. So if I do have a trade idea on this, and I did, which was I was looking for price to come up here, and then I can look to sell short. So that's all I did. I made sure I'm aware of that news, and then just sit and wait. All right, so that's how I use my news. So back to this, as I was saying, you could look for the buy to continue going up. We have our first target there. I'm pretty confident that we will get to our first target. The second one is a bit not sure because of that weekly down candle there. Okay, that is a resistance. Support broken becomes resistance, something like that. Okay, it could stop price, not entirely, but it can. Okay, so I look to use that level as my first target, and then the upside. It can go higher. Okay, it can, between this high and that low right here. Once this week closes, because we've come above this down candle, we could look for the 50% as another target. Yeah, we could look for the 50% as another target. Okay, so first target there, second target at the 50% between this range on the weekly, and then definitely here there will be some sort of a rejection, and once we do that, I'll be looking for this low to be taken out next and drop it into here. So for our YouTube members, I want you to look at from, I'll say, mid-November, from 21st of November till February. Okay, and you can take a screenshot, and then when it happens, you come back and you tell me what you experienced, right? So from 23rd of November, I want to see price drop down here. Okay, not now, but now I need to go up, and then once you get up there, we should be roughly around mid-November, and then from there to by February, which is the 1st. Okay, within this shaded box, price should drop down here and at least drop into there. Okay, so take a screenshot and then keep it, and then when it does happen, you come and find me. Euro New Zealand, let's go into the daily. I mean the 1 hour. We've had such a wonderful week. Yesterday we had this trade to come down here, didn't quite get there, missed it by about 10 pips or 20 pips. Okay, from here. Okay, and the idea is the same thing, the concept of a stop run. Right, let me remove all this. If you don't steady stop hunt, you will not be profitable, because chances are price is gonna always stop you out and then go the other way, or you might think price is dropping but it will not drop. Study the concept of stop hunt. That's the best time to be that's the best time to be in the market, when there's a stop hunt or a stop run, whichever way you want to call it. Okay, so we did run them out there, and then price dropped down here. Notice how we did also have a run in here. When price came down, it didn't go down the first time. It gave a rejection back up and then came down and broke it. We also had one here. Notice how price came back down to that one, that down candle. Okay, and rejected, went up, and then came back down. So what have they done now? They have engineered equal low. Okay, they have engineered equal low. They have engineered equal low. It's a tiny little bit run, but they have engineered equal low. So this going up is going to come back down, and then this time I'll be looking for price to drop in here. So what I'll do next is I'll try to find out where this wants to go. Okay, and then once it gets there, then I'll be looking for a rejection to come back down to take out this equal low. Right, so let's jump onto the weekly and see. There's nothing on the weekly. On daily, nothing much showing. On the 4-hour, in here, if they're able to get up there, okay, if they're able to get up there, then I'll look for something there. So if they're able to get up there, then I'll do this, and then sell it back down. Right, so if they manage to get up here, then I'll be looking to a sell to drop back down again, because they have engineered this equal low. So definitely price is going to come back up down there. I don't know if it's going to get up there, but if it does, then I'll be looking for a sell back down. If they don't, I'll be looking for a breaker above any of these highs. So what I mean is, if they take out this high and then they reject and break a short-term low, then I'll be looking for a sell to continue going down. Okay, if they do it here, I'll do the same thing. So wherever they do it, I'll be watching it, but I'm not confident in this buy. I was confident in this buy because I did buy it, but I'm not confident in this buy. It didn't get to this level. If it was coming from this level, then yes, I would have bought it. Okay, but this is engineering. It's not a stop hunt or stop run. So price is going to go up a little bit and then come back down. Okay, so you could look for this on this pair. Pound New Zealand. Okay, so we do have this and we have this, so that's a sensitive area. The up candle is sensitive, so you could look for something in there. Okay, it's a 4-hour chart. It's a 4-hour chart. You could look for something in there to bring price back down again. All right, so you could look for something in there to bring price down again, even though it's not the best because it's in between this high and that low. I don't like trading it that way, but it's still what it is. It's high probability. It's best if it was up here, because we do have the stop run up there, so it's be best up there, or somewhere here, something like this, where we have a stop run, price comes back down, and then you can buy it. Okay, when it's down here up there, when it's in the middle, it's a bit iffy, but it's still what it is. So you could take it and then see what happens. So let's delete that and then do this. Okay, and I'm looking for our trendline brothers. You can see I've highlighted them here, so they will be looking for a buy, right? And then we do have a gap on the daily here, so I would like them to be punished. Price just slide through it and then go here and then reject and come back up again, and then get all of them confused. Okay, so you could look for something like this to drop back down, like this equal low and the trend line. So you could take something off at the trend line. Pound yen. Okay, so I gave a psychology lesson yesterday, and that's what you see. That's not what I wanted to get rid of. Right, so we've got a beautiful buy from last week, 28th. Absolutely beautiful, and dead on to the 4th, price reject. So this is for my members. This is absolutely crucial. The dates that you guys have, you make sure you trade it according to, like I said, do not be greedy, right? And because if you are greedy, this is what might end up happening to you. Okay, maybe you might held on to, you might, yes, I said price can come up here for that equal highs, okay, but do not try to hold on to that because the date or your time has expired, right? So if your time has expired, pairs, you should be out of them, because our date is gone. It's gonna pull back, and with that pullback we can then look for the next date to look for our entry again. So we'll be looking for another buy again. Let it do its thing, let it retrace, and then once it's finished the retracement, we could start looking for another buy. All right, let's go into the daily. Actually, let's remove all this, have a good view at it. I think we could continue. This is not a good one right now, because we do have weakness in the British pound. We have weakness in the British pound, so this is not a good one. There are other yen pairs that are better. Okay, right now the dates that we need to buy has gone, so price might do whatever it needs to do in this time period, so don't get involved. Like I showed you guys yesterday, because we are bullish, we look for bullish for price action. So if we have bearish price action, you don't get yourself involved. Okay, wait for bullish price action. So let's wait to see how price is going to trade this down candle. Always do your marking here, and then there, and then we wait. Okay, we wait to see what price action we're going to get at those levels. As soon as we see a bullish price action, then we can jump on again. Dollar, yen. Last night I was watching this pair and I'm thinking, wow, I'm really surprised. I'll be honest, I'm really surprised at how price has respected levels and the way they've traded, because we did call for that level as our next upside objective, and then there, and then there, and it did exactly that. Okay, we will continue going high on this, I believe. Yeah, we didn't close above this, but to me this is an indication they want to go up. Even though we've got this huge wick rejection, if we take out this low, then I'll look at this differently. Okay, I'll look at this as they've killed out people and then they've broken down. Therefore, I'll be looking for this equal low as our next downside objective. Okay, if we take out this low, then that's what I'll be looking for. But I don't see that. I don't see that happening because I'm still bullish on the dollar, so I don't see that. Trump might win, and if Trump wins, then we are in for a bullish dollar. Okay, so I don't see this thing dropping. But if it does take out this low, I mean, you see price drop, close below this low, then you have this equal low as your downside objective and further. Let's go on to the weekly and see if we reject. Yeah, we do have a huge liquidity pool down here, this equal low, which ultimately I think this might do that because it's just grinding down. So ultimately we might come down for this equal low, but not yet. Maybe they need to take it up a little bit more. Why? Because you have a low and then a lower low, so this whole area is sensitive. Let's go on to the daily. This down candle is sensitive. That's why price is finding it hard to go through it. Okay, so you might get a continuation to the upside. I would love them to kill out this equal high first before rejecting and going lower. So between now and December, okay, I would like to see price go up there, and then towards the end of December to January, mid-January, then price should fall down again. All right, so on the 4-hour you can look for a buy. Let's see our William percent hour. You can literally look for a buy. Let's drop down to the hourly. Yep, I like it because we did take out some stops prior to going up, so this whole area is very sensitive. So yeah, what I would do, or what you can do, if you're not familiar with William percent hour, that's my it's not momentum indicator, it's oscillate. I can't pronounce that word, but you know what it is. Okay, overbought, oversold. Okay, so when it gets to oversold, okay, then you can be a buyer. Okay, it's not oversold yet, but once it gets to oversold, you can be a buyer. Okay, so let it get. If you don't use it, maybe you can plot it on your chart. Sometimes I use it to filter out, is it right time to get in? Okay, so like I'm looking at it right now, Is it right time to get in? Even though we are at the 70.5, is it right time? And I'll say this will tell me no. Okay, like here, right here, because we traded, you can see run up, we took out some stops, it retraced. Right here, when this is down there, it's telling me it's ready to go higher. We have the same thing here, but this thing is not here, so to me it's not ready yet. It might take some time, and then once it drops there, that's when I'll be a buyer. Okay, so you can use this as a filter for your trade entries. Euro yen. Euro yen, I'm looking for a buy. Yesterday you saw me draw these lines. Okay, I'm seeing a market maker buy model basically, and that's why I've got these levels there. So that was the first target, and then it hit that, come down for retracement. I'm looking for that as the next target, so I'm looking for a buy on this. I just don't like the whipsaw that's going on in here. So if I do get clean price action, then I'll be looking to target up there, and then ultimately this level, that's the level I'm looking for. And then for long term, then I'll be looking for that equal high, right? But for now, I'm looking for that as my upside objective. Okay, I don't see any. There is something here in the lower time frame, but I don't do lower time frame business. I don't like lower time frames. But this is not bad entry. This wouldn't be a bad entry. Buying right here. Right here with a stop below there, and looking for my upside objective, which is there. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad, because they've already taken some stops here. So this area is sensitive. We have equal highs in here, and I'm looking for higher prices anyway, so that's not a bad buy. Alright, so that's Euro yen. Swiss yen, same thing. I'm expecting higher price. Actually, I'm already long on this one. I'm already long on this one from in here. I'm already long in here. On the lower time frame, I got an entry down there, so I'm expecting this as my upside objective for now, and then I'll be expecting price to come up here. This is a long-term trade that you can start eyeing, so I'm just gonna give you guys, the YouTube members, free idea. So from the 28th of October, that's when I'm bullish on this pair. So from the 28th of October till the 22nd of I can't remember exactly what, bear with me, let me double check, till the 4th of December. Okay, so all in here, I'll be only looking for buys. Okay, so anytime we go up, I'll be going up with it. If we come back down, I'll not sell it. I'll wait for price to retrace, and then I'll look for a buy to continue going up. So in this shaded box, I'm looking for bullish prices. Okay, so you can write the date down, or you can have this in your chart and then see what happens. Just like I gave you on Aussie New Zealand, that's another one in here. you look for a buy. You can sell if you want when price gets to a level when it's coming down for retracement, but I think your best trade is going to be on the buy side. All right, so there you have it. I'm looking for continuation to the upside. I like the consolidation. We moved away and then come back to retest the consolidation, so I'm expecting price to continue going higher. CAD yen. CAD yen is a different animal. CAD yen is a different animal. Why? Because I am bearish on CAD. Okay, I am bearish on CAD and I'm bearish on yen. So the trade that I had was just for this period. So the 4th. Okay, I wanted to see if they could run all the way up there before today, or before the end of today, but because today is the 4th, they couldn't get up there. So it's not a bad buy from down here. Because I'm bearish on yen and bearish on CAD, I'm gonna put this in the backlist. I'm not gonna look at it because I don't expect anything on this one anymore. The trade I expected is done. Okay, going forward, I'm bearish on CAD, I'm bearish on yen, so this might continue between this high and that low. It might do something like this, and I don't want to be in here. I'd like to spend my energy somewhere else, so I'm not gonna look for anything on this pair. Okay, so let's jump on to New Zealand yen. Going forward, this will be another pair that I'll be looking for a buy, but not yet, because again, we've gone beyond the 4th, which is today. We do usually get a decline, okay, but I think the 14th, from the 14th of November, which is next week, I'll start looking for bullish price action, right? So I'm not interested in anything that is going on right now. You can look for trades, but I'm not interested in anything on this right now. Okay, let's jump on to New Zealand CAD. I missed out on this trade. I didn't pay attention to this pair, to be honest, but we did have a trade idea. I'm gonna show you that trade idea. I'm gonna show you the trade idea. I want you to look closely right here, because I did trade when it was going down, so I saw everything that happened. We had a stop run. Right, we had a stop run in here. So what do we have? We have a high, and then we broke down. So which candle becomes sensitive? The last up candle right there. So that is your entry. This is on the 4 hours, so it's not bad entry. And the reason why I'm going through this is because it's not just the first time. It's going to happen again and 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 again. Okay, so if I go through it, it's not to tell you, oh, this is a trade that I could have taken. It's me showing you something. Okay, it's me telling you what you could look for in price. So it's not me saying, okay, yes, we could have taken a trade there, but it's, if you listen to my thought process of how I'm looking at price, then you can glean something out of that. Okay, so listen to my thought process of identifying the trade, and then going forward you can start looking at price that way. So don't think, okay, yes, why are you showing me hindsight, or why are you showing me a trade that is already done? Okay, that's the only way I can show you, so that you can practice. All right, so we do have this run, and then we broke down. So that up candle is sensitive. So where am I looking for price to drop to? There is a gap in here. So that's where I'm expecting price to drop to, and then I'll be looking for bullish prices. As you can see, I want price to drop here, and then I'll buy it. So this pair usually goes into a retracement from the 4th, between the 4th and the 17th. Sorry, the 4th and the between the 4th and the 21st, between 14th and 21st. It can happen on the 14th, or it can happen, is 1 week difference. So they could send it down and then hang around there for 1 week and then go higher. Okay, so I'm expecting this to drop in here, right? And then I'll be looking for higher prices. And the reason why I'm looking for higher prices from here, if you go onto the daily, you're gonna see same thing that I showed you on the daily, sorry, on the 4-hour, is the same thing in here. We did have price run the stops, so we have what, a lower low, price is gone up, this down candle becomes sensitive, so we'll be looking for a buy here to continue going up. We did have the same thing in here. Price made a stop run, it ran up, it came back to the down candle, sensitive area, and then price went up. We had a stop run here, we ran down, this up candle becomes sensitive, it comes back up, goes down, comes back up to the same down up candle again, and then it goes down. Study this and you will see how profitable you will become. Right, let's jump on to, so this, you can look for a continuation to the downside. We do have this up candle, is not bad. This up candle is not bad, but I'll leave my stop above where the highest high is, okay, because that's where all the stops was drawn out from. And the reason why is, again, if you look closely, okay, we're taking some stops here and then we broke down. This is an up candle that is clean, so many of them in here, but this one looks clean, and I could use this one because it's the highest one, but this one is clean. And then I'll target this equal low as my first target. All right, and then I'll look for the rest to drop into this gap, not that far, this gap here. So I'll take something off here, there, and then there. All right, so it's not a bad trade. And then gold. So gold, I was going to sell my family. I was going to sell my family and put it on this trade, right? But I was waiting for a breaker. I was patiently waiting for a breaker, and I did mention this to you guys. Okay, the fact that price has come up doesn't mean that we need to sell. Okay, if you're patient enough, there is your breaker. But I didn't take this one because I had too many trades on, and usually I don't like that. So currently I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 trades running. Okay, 8 trades running, and that is too much, right? So I didn't take it, but it did offer a breaker entry. Which one, you might be asking? Well, here we run it, broke down, this down candle right there, sell short. When you see this, I'm surprised that it, I don't know, maybe it's me, but to me this is how I see price, and this is the easiest way to trade. If you don't trade this way, then there's a high probability that you're gonna you're gonna struggle a little bit, because the market is always looking for liquidity. Okay, so where is going to be liquidity, that's where you want to trade. So when they run stops, that's when they've picked up orders. Okay, so the price is going to run the opposite direction. That's why I call it stop run. They stop people out and then they run away. So this equal high, yeah, that's what they went for, and then broke down. So right here, that's your entry. I saw it, I study it, but I don't trade it. It's easy to see if you practice a lot. Okay, and then you just write it down at the same time. And like I was saying earlier, it's best to see our trend line brothers as well. When you see this, that is exciting. Okay, when you see this, that's exciting, because they're gonna get punished. Okay, we did have the same thing in here. We traded this. Okay, we did trade this right there from here, and then our target was this lows and then a gap in here, and then we had same thing, price that's what run up, take out some stops. What do we have? Trendline brothers, and then they get punished. Okay, that's the easiest trading you ever do. So how far is this gonna go? I'm looking for, if you look down closely, you will see that there's a little gap in here where they took some stops. So that down candle, that's where I'm expecting price to drop to. So here, that's what I'm expecting price to drop to. Okay, and then it probably give a bounce. Okay, if it does give a bounce, I would like them to punish the I would like them to punish the sellers as well. So maybe run it back up here. And because we've already run stops, this up candle will be what? Sensitive. So let's do this. Let's punish everyone. Write it down here, and then take it all the way back up here, and then send it back down. And that will be confusing, and that will be perfect for me. Okay, so I'm gonna take a screenshot, and if it does happen, then you know that price is not random. Price is very much controlled, and you can study that. So let's take a screenshot, and I'm gonna save it in my forecast images that I do most of the time. I have lots of them. So I had the euro trade. I also have Bitcoin going up to where it is now, and I have corn. Was it corn? Let's have a look. No, cotton. I have cotton. So I do save myself. I save myself some trophies. I outline price like this, and then I just watch them play out. So that is gold for you. You could look for a continuation to the downside here, or watch this. Okay, watch this. They could do that, because there is a gap in here that has been left open, right? And then there's a gap in here, so a gap to gap trade could send price back down again, and then this time they could target this equal lows right here. So let's see, Monday we are live again at 2. So Monday, if this has happened, then you all come back and witness or show me your charts. Let's go to oil. I'm pointing these trend line brothers to you guys so you can see them. Always look for them, and you'll be surprised how trend line traders will usually get punished, right? So we do have what price running this high and then rejecting. So in the lower time frame, that was my reason why I sold short. Okay, and then they broke them. So this is a 4-hour trend, and then they broke them. And then on the lower, on the daily, this is what most people will have on their charts, especially, like I said, our trendline brothers. They will have this. You can go on your forums and okay, we'll jump on that in a second. You can go into your forums and look at those that trade oil and see if the trend line traders didn't have this on their charts. They'll be expecting something here, right? And then they too got punished. I still have a level down here that I'm expecting price to drop to, so I'm looking for a breaker, right? Last night I was watching this one and it didn't quite close below it, so I didn't like it. Okay, I need it to close, show me willingness that it wants to go down. So it didn't close below, so I didn't like it. So I'm still watching. I still have upside levels that I'm watching. This last up candles low. Let's remove that. And then this level. So these are upside levels I'm expecting price to hit and then provide me a breaker. Okay, so if they do hit and then breaks down, that's my entries right there. So that level, this is what I'm watching or I'm looking for. Yeah, and then I'll look for that and then I'll go down with it. Okay. Or sorry, bad drawing. And then pull back and then I'm in short and then I'll continue going down. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. So you could look for that as well on oil. So that's what I'm looking for oil. All right, let's go back to this one. Yeah, wait for this thing to drop. I like this indicator. If you don't use it, start using it. Okay, it gives you a very good there's more to it. I don't want to go into much details, but the long and short is because they did run stops and run away. Okay, when price is dropping down, if this drops to below 80%, this is showing you that price is way too cheap or is oversold or price is way too cheap, it's oversold. So there will be an accumulation that will send price higher, but this thing needs to drop here. Okay, if it doesn't drop there, then it's not oversold yet to me. It needs to drop down there, and then once it does it, then you can look for a buy. All right, but for now it's not yet ready. Okay, it's not yet ready. You can buy it because it's at a very good level to be a buyer, but I'll prefer this to drop down here. Once it drops down there, then I'll buy it. So that I think will be it for the pairs. Is there anything anyone wants me to look at for them? Anyone has anything you want me to look for you? USD CHF, USD CHF, 91.2001, 91.2001, 91, straight line. 91.21. Yeah, it's not a bad level. It's not a bad level. I like the little gap, a tiny little gap in there. I'll go for this. Yeah, so I'll go for I think it depends on your broker, but I like 91.230, just below this short-term low. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. But you cannot trade all of these dollar pairs. So my recommendation is choose, because not all the one of the things that I realize is when dollar is doing something, not all of them will do the opposite. Some of them will be manipulated just to make sure they'll be able to manipulate their cross pairs. So not all of them is going to go up as dollar is going down, or not all of them is going to go down as dollar is going up. So you need to be selective in terms of your dollar based trades, basically the majors. You need to be selective, and what you can use to do that is I should have got in the Aussie New Zealand, damn it. What you can use to do that is your futures currencies. Okay, you look for which one is weak. Okay, so in here right now, which one is the weakest one? I think the yen, the Aussie. The Aussie is very weak because it's been dropping, and the New Zealand is very weak as well. So I can then pair dollar with New Zealand and dollar with Aussie, and then sell that one. Okay, and then leave dollar yen and all the rest. So if you jump onto this, I'll sell this. Okay, that's why I sold the breaker, because this one will show more weakness than the rest. Okay, it might change. Okay, it might change. So if you learn relative strength, how we use relative strength, then that will help you. I don't want to go into much details about relative strength because that's gonna take another 5 hours for me to explain that. But basically, I use relative strength to pick out what dollar pair I want to trade. Okay, so if, for example, I want to take a trade on any any major, I'll check the relative strength and then see, okay, let me give you one quick example. So one quick example is, okay, right now dollar is retracing, right? So if dollar is retracing, there's a chance that it's gonna go up. So what I'll do is I'll go through a time frame on my own. 1 hour. Let's go into the 4 hour rather, and go into the 4 hour on this one. Okay, so let's look at this as an example. Okay, we have dollar coming back down into a down candle. We have yen going back up into an up candle. So that is diametrically opposed. It's gonna find it hard to go higher. This is gonna find it hard to go lower. So dollar yen is a good trade. So what you see on dollar yen, okay, let's go and see where is it? Where are you? William percent right there. Okay, so what you see on dollar yen could be a good trade. Why? Because by comparing the futures market, you can see that yen will have hard time going higher and dollar will have hard time going lower. So dollar yen can be a good trade. So then I'll hunt this one. Then I'll go on and then find, okay, dollar against British pound. Is that a good trade? No. Why? Because I don't see any high probability reference points that is contrary to what the dollar is doing. Therefore, I'll leave this one alone and go to euro. Euro could be also another good trade. Why? Because it's trading at a high time frame level, which is also high probability. So euro dollar could also be another good trade. So if you go into euro dollar, okay, we could look for a sell to continue going lower, as I explained earlier. Okay, then you go back and check again, and so on. Okay, that's how I would do it, instead of just randomly looking at this and saying, okay, I like that level, I'm gonna buy it, I'd rather do it this way. So I'll look at the Swiss and look, has it got potential to drop? If it has, then and then only I'll look at the Swiss. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't. Okay, so the dollar yen, it looks like a good potential long, and then the euro dollar looks a good potential short. Aussie, not so much. Right, CAD, dollar CAD also looks potential. Dollar CAD look potential to sell short as well. I'm sorry, buy long. Dollar Swiss, could be. I just don't like the fact that it couldn't take out this low. It couldn't take out this low, so it could be sideways on dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss might be sideways. Any other question? Any other question? You're welcome. All right, okay, so that will be end of this morning's sessions. We will be back at 2 in 2 hours time. Maybe I have lots of stuff to do today. I need to visit friends before they lock us down again. I need to visit some friends before they decide to lock us down again. So we will do an afternoon session in about 2 in 3 hours time. So I'll be back at 2 p.m. For another session. Maybe I might not stay too long because I need to go and visit friends before they keep us in a cage. All right, so I'll see you guys at 2 o'clock. Take care and